Okay, we're live. Just really gypped the song. That was
I
plan.
love her daughter.
Did you cut that mustard?
I did. Oh, we.
Oh, shut.
No, we did it.
Oh, I should have been, who's the bad guy? The air guy. I'm just the taller version.
The mayor.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, actually, I should have been the delivery guy.
Oh, yes.
He's delivery first. Adding one thing to
Alex.
Terrible.
Got
Oh,
it.
yeah, Abby,
Sean, not Sean. Sam didn't come to lefty board because he left, and we have all these questions that couldn't get answered because he didn't come.
Gotcha.
Emmy's coming.
We the schedule is wrong for that family and friends schedule they released.
Yeah.
It's wrong. There's a lot of clubs. Like it's wrong for our day.
I'm gonna be late.
Okay.
Next question.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Fine.
Because I know.
It's just my mom and my grandmother coming.
it's
That's
just your
it.
mom.
So, that's it. I think. So I'm not that worried.
That's cute. You think?
Whoever shows up, but I don't care.
Valid.
So, beautiful. We get free food.
Free food. I mean, have to go to that.
Yeah, I'm not that worried.
Meeting to order. Move to roll call.
Senator Aponte,
Here.
Senator Amaya.
Here.
Senator Arias.
Here.
Senator Blessing.
Yeah.
Senator Bundy.
Here.
Senator Burns. Senator Cloutier.
Here.
Senator Cody.
Here.
Senator DeJesus.
Here.
Senator Jocato.
Here.
Senator Goyette.
Here.
Senator Hunt.
Present.
Senator Kelly.
Here.
Senator Mank.
Here.
Senator Powers. Senator Sayre.
Here.
Senator Walker.
Here.
Senator Van Zant.
Here.
Chairperson Barrett Miller.
Here.
Chairperson Kaufman.
Present.
Chairperson Marcel.
Here.
Chairperson Peralt.
Present.
Chairperson Stichter.
Here.
Secretary Heaney.
Here.
Vice President Riley.
Present.
President Alford.
Present. Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween. I love all of your costumes. So starting out with acceptance of minutes. Motion to accept the minutes from the 10/24/2023 meeting.
Second.
Are there any additions, deletions, or revisions for the minutes? All right, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes, minutes accepted. All right, starting out with new and existing business. We're going to shuffle things a little bit. So we're going to start with the club sport policy that you see before you. And I will hand this over to Chairperson Kaufman for a 5-minute discussion.
Well, first, at this time, I motion to accept the club sport policy amendment number 1 to the Student Senate club sport policy.
Second.
All right, we'll now move into a 5-minute discussion on this.
Okay, so basically the reason why this was created was because of an issue that occurred last week, which it didn't directly affect, but it did have to do with dues. And there's no clarification on due refunds in any club sport policy document or constitution. So in order to rectify that going forward, I drafted up this amendment just so there is clarification of that going forward and what the process will look like. It highlights when people are entitled to a refund, and then it highlights when they're not. And then if anything isn't covered, it falls to the club treasurer. And if the person disagrees with the decision, then it will fall to the finance committee for the final decision.
All right, the floor is open for questions or comments on this policy. All right, anything else? Last call for questions or comments. All right, we'll move into a roll call vote on the acceptance of the club sport policy amendment.
Senator Aponte,
Yes.
Senator Maya,
Yes.
Senator Arias,
Yes.
Senator Blessing,
Yes.
Senator Bundy,
Yes.
Senator Cloutier,
Yes.
Senator Cody,
Yes.
Senator DeJesus,
Yes.
Senator Jokuto,
Yes.
Senator Goyette,
Yes.
Senator Hunt,
Yes.
Senator Kelly,
Yes.
Senator Mank,
Yes.
Senator Sayer,
Yes.
Senator Walker,
Yes.
Senator Van Zant,
Yes.
Chairperson Kaufman,
Yes.
Chairperson Marshall,
Yes.
Vice President Riley,
Yes.
and President Alford.
Yes.
20-0-0.
With 20 yes votes, 0 no votes, 0 abstention, motion passes. The club sport policy is now amended with policy. All right, moving into Thanksgiving food drive.
Alright, so Thanksgiving food drive is coming up. It's November 17th, and it's gonna be from 11 to 1 in University Commons. It is, like I said last week, a partner event with public safety, and all the donations will be going to the open pantry through the Mayflower food drive, and to be publicized, to like the public through Mass Live and Rock 103, I think, something like that. Some rock station that's nearby, is also doing that. I'm gonna be needing a little bit of help when it comes to collecting the donations. It is a Friday, I believe. So I'm gonna be putting out a form in the group meet, so if you guys are available at all, like 30 minutes, whenever you guys have available, just let me know.
Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding the Thanksgiving food drive? All right, we'll move to constitution changes, starting with rugby.
All right, at this time, I motion that the Student Senate accept the rugby constitution change.
Second.
We'll move into a 5-minute discussion on this topic.
So, Club Rugby, when they went to reactivate, they had some issues with their constitution. It didn't include anything about club sport policy. So this is basically the constitution amendments all just add club sport policy. And then, obviously we did our average comb through of grammar and changing, and correcting any grammatical errors as they did have an older constitution on file that they were using. So, basically just increasing quality of life in the constitution and then including club sport policies as all the additions.
Thank you. The floor is open for questions or comments about this. All right, we'll move to a voice vote on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes. All right, move to neuroscience club constitution changes.
So at this time, I motion that Student Senate accept the Neuroscience Club constitution changes.
Second.
We'll move into a 5-minute discussion on this topic.
Similar to Club Rugby, they added an e-board position. That's the main difference between the two. And then we obviously updated grammar errors and went through and combed through all those issues as it was an older constitution that they had on file.
All right, the floor is open for questions or comments. All right, with no comments, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes. All right, move to criminal association budget.
Yes, at this time, I make the recommendation that the Criminal Justice Association be activated with a starting allocation of $500.
So moved.
Second.
We will move into a 5-minute discussion on this topic. I also want to clarify that it should say Criminal Justice Association, not Criminal Association. My bad. I think it's late on Sunday. All right, 5 minutes.
Yes, this is just following up from last week's meeting in which the Constitution was approved. I believe we have a representative present, so yeah, that's all.
Could you talk briefly about the criminal association? Criminal Justice Association.
Open to any criminal justice majors or minors, just like all meeting together, and then we don't have anything like set in stone about what we're planning, like any criminal justice like events to broaden their horizons on like opportunities within criminal justice.
The floor is open for questions or comments. Yes.
Are you thinking about bringing any like speakers in to speak on that?
We haven't gotten to that stage of planning yet, because like we're just starting out. It's like we're meeting everyone first, and then we're gonna start.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Sandra.
Do you have any plans to like host events and collaborate with other clubs?
Not yet, but we also haven't gotten that far in planning yet.
Any other questions or comments? Floor is still open. All right, move to a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes. All right, moving to level increase, starting with step team.
Yes, at this time, I make the recommendation that step team be increased from a level A organization to a level B organization.
So move.
Second.
All right, we'll move into a 5-minute discussion on this topic.
Okay, so we started with our 500 from my freshman year, and we don't have enough for our uniforms. We are stuck with our all black and white shoes. So we want to feel more of like the team, like how the dance and cheer team, and we want to be more professional before instead of wearing different color blacks and like not showing professionalism.
We have a lot of plans for events this year. We already have 3 planned for this semester and for next semester. One of those being with favorite schools. So we want to show up and represent the school as good teachers.
All right, the floor is open for questions or comments. I have a question. How many members does step team have?
Right now, we're at 13. So originally we had 8, now we it's now 13.
You guys regularly collaborate with like the dance and the cheer teams?
Yes.
And then I would ask you, Chair Principal, can you explain the level increase from an A to B and what the allocation of charges for everyone watching?
So for those who don't know, level A of clubs and orgs receive an initial allocation of $500, and level B receives 1,000. So basically, they would be moving up from that 500 to the 1,000. And then in terms of my committee's thoughts on this, we were in pretty unanimous agreement that given their membership, the need for new uniforms is kind of essential at this point, and also just to be able to be kind of on the same level as dance and cheer. They're very active with the amount of performances they have throughout the year, and also, as they mentioned, the other events working with other schools, and also just general team bonding events that they would like to put on to kind of unite STEP more. So the finance committee was in unanimous agreement with this.
All right. Any final questions or comments regarding this? Yes.
Does the step team have any dues? Like the members have to pay dues?
As of right now.
Other questions or comments? Your hand, I see it.
How often do you guys perform in like a year or semester?
This semester we're performing 3 times. Next semester we're performing about 3 to 4.
Floor remains open for questions or comments. All right, with the discussion naturally expiring, we will move to a roll call vote.
Senator Aponte,
Yes.
Senator Amaya,
Yes.
Senator Arias,
Yes.
Senator Boateng,
Yes.
Senator Bundy,
Yes.
Senator Burns, Senator Cloutier, Senator Cody,
Yes.
Senator DeJesus,
Yes.
Senator Jokuto,
Yes.
Senator Goyette,
Yes.
Senator Hunt,
Yes.
Senator Kelly,
Yes.
Senator Mink,
Yes.
Senator Powers,
Yes.
Senator Sayer,
Yes.
Senator Walker,
Yes.
Senator Van Zant,
Yes.
Chairperson Kaufman,
Yes.
Chairperson Marshall,
Yes.
Vice President Riley,
Yes.
and President Alford.
Yes.
21-0-0.
With 21 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 0 abstentions, motion passes. Congratulations to our newest level B organization. All right, move to investment club.
At this time, I make the recommendation that the investment club be increased from a level A club to a level B club.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All right, we'll now move into a 5-minute discussion on this topic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Addy. This is I'm the CIO and vice president. The president of the investment club, and he is the vice president and the portfolio manager of the investment club. Luke Costanzo. And we're here to request a budget level increase from level A to level B. Now, as you all know, as part of being level A organization, we had a budget of $500, and when we submitted our budget for last year, we had some inconsistencies because towards the end of last semester, we had a little bit of miscommunication with regards to when the budget was going to close. And as a result, we weren't able to spend a lot of it because we were planning on, what to spend it on. And we had a lot of stuff planned out. But because of the year closing out and us not able to communicate with them on time, we weren't able to spend a substantial amount of our budget last year. So this year we want to spend that amount just because we already have stuff planned out based on those charges. And on top of that, now our membership has also grown pretty consistently. Last semester we had approximately 25 members, active members. And this semester, after the expo, after the open houses we've been to, we were almost up to 40 to 45, so almost double at this point of active members showing up to every meeting. We also, our club basically has a dual mandate of educating our members about how to be proficient in valuation practices and try to maximize the returns for the portfolio we manage as a club. So some of you were here last time when we were here for the leadership allocation request, but when I described how we work at that time. But basically, what we do is we have a club portfolio, which is basically a brokerage account with real money in it, which is just based on donations from alumni and other faculty members, staff members, all that stuff. And they pool that money and allow us to basically manage that money and invest it as we see fit. So we try to educate our members and the valuation practices that will allow them to do that. And the second mandate is obviously, which is related to the first one, is to maximize returns in the club portfolio. So it's a dual mandate, but they're again tied to the same thing, which is to make the club sort of like an internship almost for finance majors and accounting majors. And because we've been a level A organization, we haven't been able to host the sort of events that we'd like to, buy a lot of subscriptions and access resources and data that we'd like to. And as part of the request we submitted, we also attached a proposed plan where we have detailed out all the stuff we intend to spend our money on. So that's all I have to say. Luke, do you have anything to add?
I got nothing else to touch.
Thank you. So one thing I do want to just clarify is that these funds are not the funds they use to invest. They have separate funds. These are funds that are used as every other club does by events and stuff for the members, stuff like that. But just to clarify, this money is not money that they use to invest. All right, the floor is open for questions or comments.
Yes.
In terms of events, what are you thinking about doing?
So we have 3 speakers planned out for this semester, and one of them is actually in association with our good friends at the Accounting Association. So we have that event planned out, and we do feel like hosting an event which is mostly targeted towards accounting, finance, and BA majors, which make up a good majority of the College of Business, would take up a lot of funds. On top of that, with the one event, we also have 2 more events which are similar in scope, and in addition to the speaker series that we're hosting, we also have other events planned, like we plan on hosting technical analysis workshops, we plan on hosting DCF workshops, we plan on hosting pre-statement analysis. These are all, again, things tied to the club and, being in the club and being involved and learning stuff. But when we market it, we're going to market it as it being open to everyone, whoever's interested on campus. So it's going to be an on-campus sort of event, open to everyone. I do foresee that I do think that anticipate that a lot of people attending would be, kind of intersecting with the club and other clubs related to it, like the accounting association that I just mentioned. But it is open to whoever's interested. And again, organizing those sorts of events might also, take up a little bit of resources. So.
I saw another hand down there. I couldn't tell who it was, but someone down there saw a question or comment. No. All right, the floor remains open for questions or comments. Anything from the finance committee?
Yeah, just to echo DT's comments, their membership has definitely increased over the past year. I believe you are now part of the largest college business club, which is very exciting. And I think it's important to be able to purchase the subscriptions for your club that you were originally intending to last semester. In addition to that, also just being able to put on events both for your club and just for other people on campus. So once again, the finance committee was a unanimous decision for this one as well.
All right, thank you. The time has expired, so we'll now move to a roll call vote.
Senator Aponte,
Yes.
Senator Amaya,
Yes.
Senator Arias,
Yes.
Senator Boateng,
Yes.
Senator Bundy,
Yes.
Senator Cloutier,
Yes.
Senator Cody,
Yes.
Senator DeJesus,
Yes.
Senator Jokto,
Yes.
Senator Goyette,
Yes.
Senator Hunt,
Yes.
Senator Kelly,
Yes.
Senator May,
Yes.
Senator Powers,
Yes.
Senator Sayre,
Yes.
Senator Walker,
Yes.
Senator Van Zant,
Yes.
Chairperson Kaufman,
Staying.
Chairperson Marshall,
Yes.
Vice President Riley,
Yes.
and President Howard.
Abstain.
Nineteen zero two.
19 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 abstentions. Motion passes. Congratulations to our second newest level of the organization. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, moving to Food Service Committee. So for the Food Service Committee, this was a committee that has been active in years past. This year, we'd like to get the ball rolling on it. But to start up, I'd like to invite Melissa from Aramark. Can you explain just a little bit about the committee and some of the stuff the committee does in years past?
Yes. So the committee was usually overseen by a faculty member, someone in Res Life. Beth Hill, I believe, oversaw it, Brian Hoover. And my understanding, Student Senate appointed a couple students to be a part of this committee. In the meeting, we like to bounce off ideas, but students are hearing from the community ideas that we might want to implement for the fall or the spring. So it's a great collaboration of working together and seeing the changes we can make or changing what the future could look like. And it's all done through these committees and vetted out to the community. So we always know what everybody wants and trying to make the right moves. They're very helpful. You get a free lunch out of it. You get to spend like an hour with me. It's pretty awesome. Just saying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone is interested in being a part of this committee, please let me know, and then we will make a decision on who to appoint for this. But again, this is very important. I know in years past, questions or concerns students have about the dining hall or anything food related, this committee can be instrumental in getting those messages across and figuring out solutions. So again, if you are interested, please let me know after this meeting. All right, next on the agenda, next in new and existing business, we have graduate involvement, undergraduate clubs. So for context, so this year we have an all-student advisory committee. And this is a committee that is composed of students from all over campus, graduate and undergraduate. So I do sit on this committee. And in this committee, we have been discussing how graduates cannot really get involved in undergraduate organizations or go to undergraduate events and vice versa. And so one of the examples that one of the law students had brought up was there were some law students who wanted to participate in, it was I think it was one of the talent shows. Was it GBTV? GBTV's talent show. But they unfortunately were not able to because they are graduate students. And with our fee structure, one of the reasons why only full-time undergraduate students can participate in our event is because they pay the student activities fee. And so, in collaboration with some of the other student governments, because there is a Student Bar Association and the Pharmacy Association, we were talking about potentially figuring out a way moving forward that there could be more collaboration between, again, the graduates and the undergraduates. So again, as an example, if, graduate students wanted to come to undergraduate events and vice versa. And so I just want to open the floor for a 10-minute discussion on, if this is something you're interested in. Again, I don't have any solutions, just I want to see if you're interested, if you think this is a good idea, and then we can kind of figure out a way to, see if this is possible. So hang on, let me start the clock. All right, sorry, Senator Hunt, I saw your hand first.
To give you a little context, because I am the station manager for GBTV, yes, someone from the graduates program did actually come and audition. They unfortunately cannot win the cash prize because it is for undergrads only. But they were in the attention that we did tell them they can still participate, they just can't win the prize.
And thank you for clarifying that, and that makes sense. And that's something that as of right now, that's the right thing. So I would want to make sure that prize goes to someone who does pay the student.
I just figured I'd just give a little context.
Thank you. So yes. I saw another hand down there first. I think Senator Cloutier will go you, and then Vice President, Secretary, and then Maya.
I think that as a pre-law student here, that it would seem very valuable to be able to participate in especially at the law school, the Bar Association, even if they're just hosting events and things like that, it seemed like it'd be valuable to me as a student. So
thank you.
Vice President. This is probably a question more for Bridget, but I was just curious, if there's anything really stopping any graduate student from attending a Kevin, for instance, and just putting in a raffle ticket for one of the prizes. Is there anything that's do a CABI board have to ask, are you a graduate student? Is that allowed? I don't know what those processes are.
it would depend on, I would need to read more into the actual Constitution of Senate to see what they have written there.
I don't think there is that.
Yeah, if there's nothing specific in here, then no, it would not come from our office.
Because there is a lot of gray area around this, which is why it's good to look into. And I know that Jessica Hill, I believe, is also looking into the logistics of all of this. But that's why just for this, because I wanted to get your opinions. But I know they're all right. So I know I saw your hand next.
Yeah, I think it'd be very valuable. I've attended some graduate level events. There's a woman law society or association, and they hold brunches and lunches. And I've gone to those, and it's a little bit awkward because they're the bounds around our schools are so seemingly defined. It makes it hard to have any sort of collaboration. I think it'd be very valuable to not only learn from them, but also just make the community larger and more inclusive in the sense that we do have undergraduate students who are the age of graduate students who would probably benefit from having peers that are the same age and so on and so forth.
All right, I saw Senator Amaya, your hand.
Yeah, I agree with what everyone else is saying. I believe that it could be valuable. Not only that, but graduate students are still part of the Western New England campus, and I feel as a campus we need to be connected, so that should include graduate students being involved in undergraduate clubs and vice versa.
Chairperson and then President.
So I know from working on the sample constitution and looking at almost every club's constitution, the only stipulation that most clubs have is that people who are undergraduate students can only be members of the club. However, you can have honorary members and other people can participate in their events, typically. Okay. The Student Association Constitution might be a little bit different. You can say something else that completely contradicts that, but that is the standard that all clubs have.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
I'm just curious, I don't know the answer to this question, but do you know how graduate clubs are funded? Do they pay a separate student activities fee different from us? I don't know how the fee structures work.
So what I've heard, and I'm going to get more information on this, I'm going to meet with them. I believe law and pharmacy, they both entities, I think OTT also, I believe they all pay some kind of student activities fee that is distributed amongst their student governance. And so, because initially, I feel we could kind of work with that, with collaborating with at least those three entities, because at least those students are contributing something. And so if there's a way to equal it out monetarily. Where it gets complicated is outside of law, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. So for instance, say engineering master's programs or business and pretty much everything else that's not in those 3 buckets I said earlier, don't have a student governance organization. So no one levies a fee that then allocates it. So it gets complicated there. But yes, so it's pharmacy, law, and occupational therapy, I do believe pay some kind of fee. All right, other questions or comments about this? Does anybody oppose? Yes.
You were saying something about it's only full-time undergrads that are able to like participate in stuff like that. What about part-time students? Is there like a gray area with that as well?
To my knowledge, only full-time undergraduate students are charged a student activities fee. And as the policy about that, I don't know if we have one, but that's a good point. So we'll have to look more into that because that as someone kind of brought that up, I started thinking about that more. So I don't know, but we'll look into that. All right, other questions or comments about this? All right, thank you. So I'm happy. Thank you for the some of your sentiments, some of your feedback. So again, I'm going to go meet with those other student governance organizations, and I know that some staff members, I think led by Jessica Hill, and are going to look at the logistics behind it. So we're going to just do more research and stuff like that. But I'm glad we're having this conversation because with the new Constitutional Revision Committee, I want to make sure that if this is something we're on the same page about, we're not further ingraining it that things are to be separated. So. Perfect. Anybody has any thoughts? I see your hands. I'll give the floor to you.
Would you happen to know?
I can't hear you.
Would you happen to know how many graduate students seem interested in doing like lower level, like undergraduate clubs, or any undergraduate students want to do graduate level clubs?
Don't have that information. All I know is that I think it's most popular amongst like the law school that they want to get involved, but I don't entirely know.
I don't know. I feel like also keeping in mind like business students for their graduate degree, they're not typically on campus, at least for most of them. But like those 3 kind of buckets you handled, like I'm pretty sure at least all of their programs you have to be like here at least part-time, which is why they probably pay that fee. So like keeping in mind who's actually on campus and who's not for like those things.
It's a very good point, because I know that most of the business programs are online. So all right, perfect. Anything else regarding this topic? All right, so more research will be done and then updates will come. So thank you. So we still have Senator of the Month here, but our senator is not here yet. She did say she's running late, so if she comes at any point in the meeting, then we'll jump to that. But anything else for new and existing business? All right, move to visitors' comments. Are there any visitors' comments? Yes.
Yes, so I just want to follow up on some of the mold findings. We discussed it last week, we kind of ran out of time, but just want to give you some stats on what we've done so far. So we've received 40 total work orders since like mid-September. Of those 40 work orders, all of those have been addressed. So like the initial inspection has been done. 11 of them did find mold, trace amounts of mold. There was 1 significant mold issue that was identified. But those students were relocated. We were happy to do that for them and anybody else where we find significant mold. Of those 40, 22 were in the quad buildings. So we do, we find it more often in the quads. As I showed you last week, they do have those systems that circulate the air within the room. So what we found was the cleaner the room, the better the condition of that system. And then 7 of those 22 had mold. All those workers that replaced those 22 weren't all mold issues. Just 7 of those we identified mold. And then 4 of those 7 had wet filters, and 3 of the 7 had blocked HVAC systems. So what we're doing to remediate that is we have our HVAC team going through those quad buildings. They're replacing all the filters, they're disinfecting those units, and they're working their way through. I have some of the data here.
I just want to jump in really quick and let everybody know that October is the month we do the PM anyway. So they're trying to get through all the rooms in the quads. So we've got how many, roughly maybe 40 of rooms remaining of all 3 buildings where either, we got, I'm sleeping, get lost. So we're just trying to circle back to those rooms so we can get in there, or we have things in the way that we need students' help to move so we can get access to those units. We don't want to move people's stuff for fear of breaking things, So anyway, I just want to be clear. October is the month we normally do that anyway. So.
Yeah. So as Dave was saying, we're about 84% done in Berkshire, Hamden 91% done, and Franklin 71% done. But like we have to move around some materials and check that with some of those students. So, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help. So thanks.
The floor is open if anybody has any questions on that. Yes, Senator.
I remember you saying that you still have people to go back to. Is there like a way that you're informing students, like, hey, we didn't actually get to your room for whatever reason? Like, how, is that an email or?
So truthfully, we have a standing meeting with Res Life. It's every Tuesday at 10:30, and we push that through to them because we need their help. We don't have the same level, nor should we, nor do we need it, access to, who's who in what room or what area. So we really rely on them helping us to do that. But it's tricky because if you guys weren't so darn busy, we could get in there easier. But it's hard, because you're all over the place all the time. So, but yeah, if anyone has any thoughts or ideas on how we can improve that process, we are all ears, so we could make that quicker. And you have an idea?
My recommendation would be like maybe like a sticker on the door or something that's like, hey, we haven't gotten to you yet. Maybe like get in contact with someone. I know that's me. I feel like my room's one of them. So I don't know.
It might be. You like the stick? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, or like a note on the door with like your email, so you can be like, to save time on both of our parts, because you're both trying to work together.
Yeah.
If you're like, here's my email or another one of you guys' emails, a time or when you're available, be there, or even you could say, hey, we tried, your dresser was in front of the vent, so we're not gonna move that. When's the time you can also be here to help us?
Okay.
Yeah, because
I like that idea.
yeah, last night the people got relocated were in my hall, I know, because they were running up and down, but they were talking to some other friends who were also from that building who were like, because I mentioned I was on the Senate, they're like, please help us. So they might have been a skip room or something, but a couple of people are still pretty
There were some other rooms in Berkshire that you're talking about?
Yeah, they were like, well, still worried, probably because they saw their friends, right? And they saw that section of their friend's room.
Right. Yeah, so, and it's kind of hard not to make this a long conversation, but there will be times where there's either a roof leak or a pipe leak or something like that happens. And I tend to err on the side of caution. When I look at something, I'm like, I'm not really quite sure what's going on here. I'm not going to say, hey, I'll get that. I called Jessica and I said, no, these folks are going to move out. They're going to move out and to a safe place until I have the time to assess it. I don't want to try to make decisions like that on the fly. I need to take the time to do it right. So in that particular case, that's why we did that. Once everything is moved out, we will assess what is going on there and resolve it. But in most cases, what Tim has found is, it's like little trace amounts on the filter, which is kind of normal, especially, given the humidity levels that we've had, which is why we do the frequent PMs. But if you see anything more than that, then you do exactly what you've been doing. Let us know, and we'll get out there as quickly as humanly possible. And believe me, we have it looks like a NASA ready room in our conference room. We get those types of things. We take them very serious, and we get all kinds of different variant requests. So just so you know, that's our tactic. We decided that we've been in a couple of rooms and we realized that our little white tent card was going to just disappear amongst all the other stuff in the room, so we had to reprint it in yellow. So now when we leave one, it'll be a little bit brighter color. But I love the sticker idea. We were here. Please get in touch with us. We will implement that idea. It's an excellent idea.
Thank you. We can come back to some senators' comments if there's time at the end of the meeting. All right, any other visitors' comments? All right, we are going to move back to Senator of the Month now, and I will hand it to Vice President Wiley.
So I have a few things to say about the Senator of the Month for September.
September, yes.
This senator has been on Senate for quite a while now and has been actively working to make sure that their constituency is well represented. The senator is extremely hardworking and thorough in their work. And more recently, the senator has been engaging in very special projects to enhance the campus community for years to come. It is a great honor and a great privilege to present the September 2023 Senator of the Month Award to Senator Emily Burns.
Commissioner costumes. Thank you. All right, moving to committee reports, starting with academic secretary.
Happy registration season, everybody. So we officially started yesterday with graduate registration, and I think everything went pretty well with that. I haven't heard anything about that, but senior registration was today, and I've already heard reports that self-service has crashed. So I will be working on that. Or I can't say it personally, but I will let people know. Junior registration will be tomorrow, and then sophomores will start at the end of the week, and then freshmen register next week after the self-service. People will have a time to straighten everything out, make sure it's all ready to go for Monday, Tuesday of next week. I've been posting regular updates and kind of tips and tricks on my Instagram, so check that out, repost that please for those that might need to use that. If you haven't met with your advisor yet, this is for the minutes, please do so immediately. You cannot register without your advisor's approval, and they're just helpful generally in planning forward for the next 4 years. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, please email them to myself or to any registrar's staff. They are incredibly responsive. This is their time, so if you need assistance, they are the people to go to. And then I will be also sending out a survey at the end of registration, probably late next week, that will detail and ask students about their registration experience and ways to improve it in the future, just to make it better in years going forward. Any questions or comments?
Okay, thank you. I'm moving to finance committee.
Yes. First thing is another club activation packet. So at this time, I make the recommendation that the Muslim Student Association receive an allocation of $500.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments about this? All right, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes.
Next, I'm also happy to announce that I have appointed Senator Jacob Bundy as the Finance Committee ranking member. And now that Chairperson Kaufman is unfortunately no longer on the Finance Committee, I'm also happy to announce that Senator Allison Walker is now the new Level A Finance Committee liaison. And then the only other thing is the Finance Committee will be meeting with Club Rugby on Friday for an additional allocation hearing, and that will be on next week's agenda.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Any questions for Finance Committee? All right, thank you. Move to Legislative Committee.
All right, you can refer to the minutes for my full report, but this week we will be meeting with representatives from the soon-to-be Construction Management Association of America Club. So be prepared to vote on their creation next week.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for the Legislative Committee? All right, thank you. Move to Campus Relations Committee.
So we're gonna have our pavilion opening next week. Still waiting to get confirmation from WNEK and GBTV on whether or not they can come. So once I either get the confirmation or not, I'll send in the poster to be approved. Invitations are ready to go. They're just gonna be emails sent out. And then hopefully soon the Campus Relations Committee will be meeting with the Finance Committee to discuss the pricing for the standing desk for the library, as well as some of those little pod seat type of things, and just trying to figure out what to do.
Thank you. anything else for Campus Relations Committee? Yes.
Yeah, my fault. I meant to send an email yesterday. Yes, GPTV will be there.
Very good. All right, anything finally for Campus Relations? All right, thank you. Move to Public Relations.
I believe last week, after Senate, I sent out everybody's portrait. If you haven't received yours, let me know and I can get that to you. The TVs in the dining hall are gonna feature the most recent post of the group photo of Senate, just to get it out there that everyone's here. All their seats are filled. There's gonna be a news story put out by marketing about all of you guys, including like pictures and stuff like that, congratulating you on your seats. So just keep an eye out, and that should be happening fairly soon.
Thank you so much. All right, any questions for Public Relations Committee? All right, move to Campus Activities Board.
Finally, we have a traditions chair. Traditions chair is Emily Branch, first year. And we're really excited to have her. And we have a few things going on this week. We have Day Dead this Thursday, 8 to 10 on the lawn. There's going to be a fire performer and food and fun. And it's family and friends weekend this weekend. So if you like Barbie, Friday night. Saturday, a lot of food, inflatables, and shirts and stuff. But yeah, be sure to check it out.
What was the name of the traditions chair?
Oh, Emily Day. And then next week we have a travel trip, and tickets should be on sale right now. It's for the Blue Man.
Thank you. Any questions for Campus Activities Board? All right, move to Health and Wellness.
Nothing to report this week.
Thank you. All right, next to representative reports, and you don't have to rush this week, so feel free to take your time and report everything you feel you need. Starting with College of Business.
So we met with Dean Costanzo actually yesterday, and we kind of just went over, like, he mentioned some of the new graduate course offerings for undergrad students. For those of you who came in either 2021 or 2020, which would be our juniors and seniors, some of us were accepted into that 4-in-1 program, which is kind of altered a little bit. And the graduate courses now align with the undergraduate schedule. So instead of it being off, they're now together. And as an undergraduate, you're allowed to take a total of 4 graduate courses, 2 per semester though. And they can either take up some of your undergrad courses, for instance, BUS, I believe it's 423, is like one of our capstone courses, and a graduate course can fulfill that, or it can fulfill your general electives.
Is there a way to go online and just like get a look of like the courses that you're required to take for MSA or MBA, or do you have to talk to somebody like first to like get those?
So there are. So yeah, so if you go on like the website and under like college business curriculum or any of the colleges, you can see like obviously the general MBA, all the concentrations, all the MSs, and kind of see all the courses you have to take and all the certificates that are offered.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's all we have.
Thank you. A question that I have, and I'd probably ask you guys to look into this. So another College of Business talks about the new fintech hub they're doing and the giant computer they're getting and all that. Could you get the information of like timeline on that? And I know they were talking about like a Bloomberg or something, but I know a lot of senior finance, accounting, and BAME students have been asking, like, is this something they're going to be able to utilize before they graduate? So you would just get information on timeline and stuff like that for next report.
Definitely. We just weren't able to meet with Dean Walker this week, so
Okay.
that'll be next week.
All right, thank you. Secretary.
The Bloomberg thing was supposed to be up and running, I think, by like next week.
Oh.
At least for some of the classes, at the very least for us to get logins. But the FinTech room is still like you're still on packet. So that's
Okay.
probably, like, a long time.
Thank you. All right, anything final for College of Business? All right, thank you. Moving to College of Arts and Sciences.
So we met with Secretary Feely, who had been running the position because there was no one to fill it of the Arts and Sciences rep. And she gave us some great ideas on how to proceed, like who to meet with, those kinds of things. We have a bi-weekly meeting scheduled for this Thursday, so it hasn't happened yet, with Dean Davis. And sadly, that none of us can make his student advisory board meetings, which are Wednesday at 5, and I think, you attend them, right?
Yeah.
So if anyone is taking notes or feels like they can send them our way, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I was ready to take notes for the next meeting. I will make sure to get them to you.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else for College of Arts and Sciences?
To add on a little bit at the end, I'm gonna be emailing Dr. Beagle yet again to get an update on the whole situation with Mendel and Williams and see if anything has gotten better, gotten worse. Just get an update on that.
Thank you.
As of right now, Professor Williams has returned. He is neck braced, so shout out to him for pushing through.
Thank you for that. All right, anything else for College of Arts and Sciences? All right, thank you. Move to College of Engineering.
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Thank you for stepping in for our Senator Sarah today.
Of course.
We do not have a College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences rep, but does anybody have anything related to pharmacy or health sciences? Yes.
I'm going to be pursuing a meeting with the dean of health pharmacy and try to get some sort of representation for them.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, move to Senator at Large.
So nothing too significant to report this time, but we do have just two things. So we still are keeping in contact with Senator Walton's role of keeping in contact with international students. So looking for ways to still involve them. And we're looking to open up an Instagram soon to hopefully reach out to students in a more convenient way, so they can actually voice their voices out to us. So, and if you guys have any recommendations for somehow involving international students, just throw them at us.
Perfect. Thank you. I think that would be good for the Instagram. We're getting that communication out there. All right. Anything else for Senator at Large? All right. Thank you. Move to Athletics and Recreation.
Just a few things. It's playoff season and everything, so keep a lookout for all the games that are happening. We have field hockey tonight. I know we have volleyball Wednesday, wrestling this weekend, and football this weekend. As far as SAC goes, we were hoping to think about just having a co-sponsor with we have an annual turkey trot every year. Typically, though, the catch is that the turkey trot is at Tuesday at 12:30. So usually only a few people go, but if you guys are willing to just have a sponsored event so we could just hopefully get more donations, because that's the general idea, that would be great to hopefully consider if we could talk about that. And then last thing, as far as the equipment projects goes, everything again is still approved, but I just don't have blueprints to show, so I can take any questions or if people have comments, but I don't have the blueprints to give you now. All I can tell you is that the rooms have been approved. The general is being moved and getting more space than they even have had before. So I wanted to be able to say that because I didn't want everyone to be kind of concerned just with my initial announcement a few weeks ago. I wanted to be able to back up that, yes, the general is being moved, but they are being moved and actually spread out. So they are gaining more space than they originally had. So I just wanted to be able to say that without having the blueprints to prove it. So I will have that within the week to actually show you guys. Yes.
Do you have confirmation is the general going to where the cardio currently is or the microphone phones?
Both, actually. That's why they're getting more space. So general will be getting a lot of if the front general room right now is actually very, very spread out with the machines that are being used in there. So if the room were to be used to its fullest potential, which is going to be happening, more stuff is going to be added in there, and we're gaining racquetball and squash courts while we're still leaving one for people who still like to take part in racquetball and squash.
Do they know what equipment is going into the racquetball rooms?
That's actually what we don't know yet.
Okay.
The blueprints right now, we have about 2 to 3 options
Okay.
on what we want to make the best case scenario. So the blueprints right now that we're waiting on are a bunch of different options on what makes more sense with the space that we got.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have any questions or comments about this athletic project, the moving, or anything like that? All right. Thank you. Anything else? And then we'll talk about the sponsorship with the finance committee, and then we'll update Senate next week or something like that. So we'll talk about it more.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. All right, moving to senators' comments. I just want to give a couple quick updates before I open the floor. So I just met with the president of Faculty Senate, Melissa Knott, and I'm planning on, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, having her and the staff council president come into the meeting, introduce themselves and explain, what they do. Because specifically Staff Senate has a lot, Staff Senate, mixing things up now, criminal association. Faculty Senate has a lot of pull over, or I think they're in charge of the curriculums. They have a lot of say over, GURs and curriculums and stuff like that. So it'll be good to hear, what's the stuff they do and how we could express concerns or questions or even, things you want to see changed to them. So hopefully they'll be in the next couple of weeks. We have a couple more interviews left for spring event. Hopefully the decision is made soon after that. And then once the interviews are completed, we'll move forward after that. Hopefully, my goal is hopefully by next Tuesday. That's the goal. And then last thing that I want to quickly talk about is the graduation update. So I got an email talking about the graduation, and I want to give a special shout out to our 2024 senators for helping with that. And then if possible, I would ask you to just explain, just for those who maybe don't know about this, can you explain the decision that was made?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a few concerns brought to us about graduation, particularly the amount of tickets that we were allowed to have and the space that we were in. So originally, graduation is normally held in the HLC in the gym, and I believe it was 4 tickets that we were all allowed, but a lot of people came to us and was like, that's not enough tickets, like I have divorced parents or I have extended family that I want to invite, and so it got pushed to 10 tickets, and now will be held at Mass Mutual Center.
There's also additional tickets available upon request if you need more than 10 for family or friends.
Thank you. I'm very excited about this. I know last year there was a big push for this, and I'm just really over the moon that this is something you all were able to get done. So we props to you for that. I think students are thrilled about this. All right, anything else for graduation? All right, the floor remains open for senators' comments.
Just a reminder to answer some of the forms that are in the chat. Right now we have a couple of ties going for Club of the Month, Staff Member of the Month, Faculty of the Month. So please vote or put suggestions in so that we have some clear answers.
Thank you. Floor remains open for senators' comments. Yes.
Just a reminder, this Thursday there's a senior event outside the fire pit from 7 to 9. It's cocktail hour. So that should be fun.
Too bad I have class that time. Accounting analytics on the evening Thursday.
Oh my God, are you presenting?
What?
Are you presenting?
I am FDIC.
Oh my gosh.
All right, the floor remains open for senators' comments. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion passes. Oh my God, you finished today. Haven't been a while. Those posts look amazing. Okay.
Jackie, how was Anne's email? Well, I ran into her and we were chatting and she started to like complain and I was like, yeah, Jackie also talked to me about some things and she was going to have a meeting about it. And she's like, oh, well maybe I should talk to her. I'm like, you can do what you want. So, yeah. I know she dropped in their both meetings.
Yeah, it was helpful when she was in the chat, because she was talking to us about it.
Yeah.
So the radio was Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she was asking it was more
Well, do you know what happened yesterday? So you remember that spaghetti spectacular? They just find out the day of.